All right, everyone, I'm about to cue you in a little secret, all right? I'm in a lot of debt. If you're new to my channel, well, that's pretty much all I got. But if you're not new to the channel, well, we're gonna figure this one out, all right? I've got $7,431 in consumer credit card debt. I have $29,202 in student loan debt. We're not worried about those student loans. I mean, between me and you, are we paying those things? I mean, I don't know. All right, but this number, 7431. What are we going to do about that one? All right. If you've watched any of my earlier videos, the first couple of videos, I go in to talk about my debt. All right. And in my like first or second video, I say I have $7,500 in debt. And now you see I have $7,400 in debt. So a lot of you are giving me some applause, I know. But what you don't realize is that video took place 2 years ago. All right. I'm paying off equivalent of what? Like I don't know, $10 a month? No. $5 a month? I'm paying off $5 a month on my credit cards. It's really not, something's not working, okay? And let me tell you what's not working. My system, all right? If you try something and it's not working and you keep trying it, well, you're a dumbass, okay? I've slowly learned that the hard way. And I am the one to blame for trying to beat my way around the debt. But I got to blame something else. It's my credit card churning, my points maxing. I've got some sort of gamified addiction to credit cards, man. It's got me in a rough spot. Let's dive into it. All right, so if Dave Ramsey's watching, I need him to turn around for a brief moment. This is really going to disturb him. And honestly, I will fear for my life, okay? So what I'm going to show you right now is, let me see. Right here is my credit card collection. I cherish it. I have, look at this. It's a stack. We could play a game of poker with this, all right? I'll fan them out. Every color of the rainbow, all right? Every single card that you can think of is right here, all right? It's what churners do, right? Bank accounts, credit card accounts, reward accounts. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, all right? If you're not familiar with churning, it is the act of taking out lots of credit cards and then getting the bonuses and then either leaving the cards open so it doesn't really affect your credit. You'll have a higher credit limit and your revolving credit percentage will go down. But the one thing that separates me from the other churners is I don't pay my credit cards off after I get the bonus, all right? That is a fatal flaw. It works kind of like this, all right? You spend $1,000, you get to a $200 bonus, you open a bank account. Well, the bank account's a little differently, but for the most part, it's opening credit cards, spending a certain amount, and then you'll get a bonus back. Spend $1,500 in 3 months, get $250 cash back. So what I would do, the genius that I am, is I would spend the $1,000, and then I would just let it sit there. And I'd say, I've got the $250 in cash. I'm not paying that debt back. Well, wrong. The debt is getting paid back because it's gonna blow up your credit. All right. And most people can do this normally, but I can't because I've got some sort of gamified addiction to the points. I've got to get them, and then I've got to get free things with them. All right. Before we get farther in this video, I want to ask you: at what point, what percentage or what cash back do you think it's worth it for your average individual to be churning like this? All right. Because for me, I get about $30 to $40 in cash back per month. All right. Now, if you're a high earner, high spender, you get a lot of money that way. But if you're a low earner, low spender, such as myself, I mean, is it really worth it? I did the math. And if I were to try and pay off my credit with my credit card rewards points, I would take, well, let me do it real quick for you. I don't know if that math is right, but it looks like it's going to take me 17 years to pay off this debt with reward points. I thought I was going to do it. Honestly thought I did. 2 years later, the debt's still the same. Now, why is this happening? All right. If all things were equal and I lived in a state of homeostasis and everything was in balance and I didn't live in a scarcity mindset, I would just let the debt sit there and I would pass it around from balance transfer to balance transfer, and I wouldn't care. The debt would just sit there and it wouldn't do anything. But I don't. I live in a scarce mindset, which basically means that I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my job at any second. So what I've done is I've stockpiled cash into my investments, and then I've left the debt there. And now that my investments are down, I'm in pain. I've been writing checks I can't cash. My chickens are coming to roost. So the thing about these credit cards is you get a promotional period where you don't pay any interest, all right? So I have multiple credit cards up to $7,000 in debt. I'm points maxing. I'm getting 5% on fast food. I'm getting 5% on gas. I'm getting 2.2% on everything else. I'm getting 5% back on utilities. It seems like a pretty sweet deal. But back to that scarcity mindset, man, it's weighing heavy on me. I really thought that I could just juggle debt and get myself out of the rat race with cash, and it's not the case. I pass that debt to another credit card. About once a year, I kick the can down the road for about 2 to 3%, and then basically all the money that I would pay it off with, I put in my investment account and hope that in the end I will make money faster than I am losing money. It's not working out quite how I thought it would, considering the market is tanking. If you look at my last video, I'm down 20% year to date from peak to trough on my investments, and I've got to make a change. So if you're on finance Twitter or any of the churning boards or anybody who talks about credit cards, they'll tell you that you're dumb if you're not taking the free money. And guys like Dave Ramsey are idiots for telling you not to take free money for credit cards. But there is one thing that they don't talk about, and that is the important thing. It is the psychological aspect of having debt on your shoulders and the psychological impact of not seeing your debt go down. Let me repeat that. The psychological impact of not seeing your debt go down. So I do these finance earning reports, but I'm always checking my credit cards, and the debt, it just stays at $7,500, man. I don't know what's happening. It's just, it just stays there, and it's finally starting to weigh on me. It's the shackles that'll keep me in chains. It's the handcuffs that prevent me from doing things. And I got to start seeing these numbers going down. So there's a lifestyle change in the works. And I think it's an important thing to note that once you start seeing the numbers go down, you realize that you're freeing yourself and you're going to want to pay this debt off faster. So where are we now? Well, I've realized this channel cannot survive without action. I am not a good speaker. I am not super articulate. I don't really like to talk. I like to do things and show them. I like to show progress, all right? And I haven't showed a lot of that, all right? So we need to take action, all right? I want to give you a brief metaphor before we get into my plan. The metaphor is a classic book by the name of If You Give a Moose a Muffin. Let me try and say that again. If you give a moose a muffin, or the lesser popular, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. All right. If you're not familiar with these books, I suggest you read them. They will piss you off. They piss me off too. The premise is a moose breaks into your home, eats your muffins, and then now he's complaining that he needs something else. Like if you give a moose a muffin, he's gonna want some milk to go with it. If you give a moose some milk, he's going to want you to deal with his lactose intolerance. It's a web of terror by this moose, okay? It's this negative feedback loop where one thing causes another thing, chain reaction, and it just never ends because, spoiler alert, at the end of the book, the moose can't do Z without A, and guess what? A is giving him a muffin. He's going to want the muffin. It just never ends. It's really a psychological thriller. But the way my life is it's if you give a moose a muffin in reverse, all right? So I can't make progress. For example, I can't cook, all right? I can't cook because I don't have pots and pans, all right? We're going backwards. I don't have pots and pans because I don't have money, and I don't have money because I'm in debt, and I don't make enough I don't have any income. All right. In every chain of events in my life, I can't go to the doctor because I don't have this, because I don't have money. I can't get my car looked at because you get where I'm going with this. So I want to start at the top of the food chain for once. Okay. I want to get rid of the debt ceiling, right? We're getting rid of it because that is one of the reasons I don't make progress. And I want to make progress on this channel because without this channel, I am nothing. I have no hope. I have no dreams. I'm stuck in retail for the rest of my life. Feels bad. Feels real bad. So, my plan, all right? We're getting rid of the credit cards. I'm going to start using debit card, and I know for a lot of people, myself included, it really hurts me to say that. But I have to start using debit because I have to see this debt go down. And then I think I will start paying it off faster. And then I will have money so I can do things like buy a new camera and a new microphone and a new car. And hopefully it'll be less stressful because ultimately when I retire in the next year, we're going to have to do this quick. Ultimately when I retire, I don't want to have the fear that I'm living in my car, but I'm owned by this credit card company, or I'm owned by this federal student loans. When I become homeless, I don't want to, I've got nothing but debt, right? Nothing to my name but debt. I owe work. I owe somebody work, and one day I'll have to make that work. And sucks, man. So the plan, debit card, it's an easy plan. All right, we're going to start paying off this debt, and that's that. All right, so tune in because we're going places. Ultimately, I would like to be one of the first men on the moon, possibly Mars. I feel like if I keep manifesting it, it may happen, and it terrifies me because I can't even ride in the car with somebody else, much less hop on a space shuttle. I'm going to end it there because this video is going way too long. I hope this finds you well. I'll make a better video next time. Peace.